Okay. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is new. I'm new to this. I'll be teaching you how to replace a wheel hub assembly for a 2012 Jeep Patriot with four-wheel drive. On this sheet is just showing you some of the tools that I use. I use a socket wrench, a bracket bar. I had to use a 32mm axle nut socket, a two-sided hammer, a 10mm socket. I can't remember if it was a 21 or 22mm socket, but it's one of the two. I also used some PB blaster because my wheel hub assembly and my rotor was a little rusty, so I had to get that. I also used a screwdriver and a new cotter pin. Okay, so this is a picture letting you know about the two bolts that's on the top of the knuckle that you need to remove. On this side it shows you where I removed the nut, and then the top one is almost out. It took me a while to get these out. It was really hard. I was using hand tools. I didn't have any power tools, so it can be very difficult if this is your first time doing it. But with a lot of help from people, I was able to get it done. It's also showing you that at the top of the knuckle assembly that you also have the ABS speed sensor that you also need to remove. You have the option to either reinstall the same one or go ahead and buy a new one. And I chose to keep the same one. Okay, so this is the next one. It's letting you know where I had removed the nut that was on top of the tie rod, so I can remove that from off of the knuckle assembly. It's also giving you a little bit of tips about the rusty bolts where I use the PB blaster. If you can tell, the undercoating underneath my car is a little shiny because I sprayed it a lot. It was very rusty. There's also another bolt underneath the you can't really see it, but underneath here where this arrow is, there's another bolt there that needs to be taken out on top of the two up top, and then the nut right here on the tie rod end. You also need to take the tie rod from out of the knuckle. Since I didn't have any special tools to do that, I saw a video that let me know that I could use a two-sided hammer, and I knocked on the side of this here a few times. If you have really good power and strength to knock and hammer, just hammer on the sides, not on the top. That's a no-go. And it fell right on out. Okay, so for this one, this is showing you where I have taken out the old assembly and I'm getting ready to install the new assembly. It also shows you how I got that tie rod right here on the side taken out. There's also a lower one that's sitting on the control arm. You can't really see it, but there's also, that was where that nut at the bottom is putting the pressure on. So there's also some tips about that. I used a screwdriver and stuck it between the two pieces, the space that was at the bottom, and I hammered it out, and I was able to release some of the pressure and able to get that one at the bottom taken out. I've also did this earlier on. I didn't show a video on that because it's pretty self-explanatory. Everybody should know how to take off your brake caliper and rotor. But whenever you're doing working, you're not directly working on your brake caliper, make sure that you're able to lay it down on something while you're working, because you don't want to mess up the brake line here. Okay. There's also an axle nut that you can't really see that I also took off. I didn't show a video on that. I use a breaker bar to take that off. And also okay, and then this is just letting you know what I didn't show, which was the ABS speed sensor. There's also inside of the hub assembly, when you take the whole thing out, there's a part where it has the other part of the ABS sensor is connected to it, where it sits inside. All I did was just jam a flathead screwdriver into it, and it fell right on out, and you pull on it. There's also a screw that helps screw that on top of the hub assembly, that you also have to take off. You should be able to see that as well. I didn't take a picture of that, I'm sorry. This is kind of new to me, so there'll be new videos to come. Next, I'll be doing my front brake pads and rotors. I also want to give a shout out to JC Whitney for providing me with the part that I needed. And that's it, guys. Good luck.